1,
2. Check 2. Hello.
What's going on, Regina? Come on! I remember running from the cows when I should down my body by the tire shop. Getting dizzy of a homemade wine, and my day didn't just seem back in home. Don't stop, you believe in me. In all that I can be, you sense to chase my dreams. And I don't deserve it, don't know what I did for your misseasons. Come on now! I'm spending all my money on the things that I don't need. See my wallet since I threw it out last week.
I'm doing great, man. Nobody asked, but I'm doing good. We haven't played a show in like 2 or 3 months, so this is pretty cool to be back here in Regina. We played the Revival so many times. Make some noise for Jason and everybody here at the Revival for having us.
My name is Brayden King. I'm a rock and country singer, and we are in my hometown of Weyburn, Saskatchewan tonight. I think we're on show number 14 of the Stayin' Wild tour, so really excited for the hometown show. So this is the Stayin' Wild tour, a tour promoting my brand new album that came out in November called Stayin' Wild. This tour has been in the works for about the last half a year, maybe even longer, I guess. It's always been a dream of mine to just continuously keep playing shows and be on the road. This is the most, I would say, sophisticated tour we've ever been on, which is great. A lot of them have been just kind of thrown together, not really planned or done well. And I think all the mistakes that I learned in the past 3 years while trying to tour have kind of built up to this one being such a success. Playing mostly original songs on this tour, the fact that people are coming out and singing songs from my album is just the coolest thing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I mean, Weyburn's just kind of a no-brainer for every run of shows that we do because this is where I grew up. There's so many people that still live here, and while I was growing up, they would see me singing in the choirs from school, or they watched me and my old band play at Pump Jacks when we were 16 years old and all this stuff. That support system has never left. They've always been super, super supportive of what I've been doing and always cheering me on, and to come back and see all those folks, like, I feel like I'll spend just as much time as I spend on stage, off stage, talking to people after the show, because there's just so many people to catch up with. It's great, and I'm just so happy to be here. I've been singing since I could talk, probably. There's home videos of me singing, and when I was real young, I got a plastic yellow guitar that didn't really do anything, but I would jump off of the couch and put on concerts and do that kind of thing. I was a huge, huge fan of The Wiggles, like the TV show The Wiggles, and that was like, everything around them is based around music, and they were actually my first concert I went to when I was 4 years old. It just was a natural progression, you know? I was singing Elton John songs on the karaoke machine when I was 5 years old, and then got my first guitar when I was like 6. My cousin had taken a couple guitar lessons, and he was babysitting my sister and I. Showed me what he knew, which is Smoke on the Water, which is almost everyone's first song on the guitar. After that, I just kind of took it and ran. I was in piano lessons for a while, then to guitar lessons. All my music lessons were here in Weyburn with some incredible, incredible teachers and supporters. Found a love for performing, and Weyburn is really, really cool too, that all throughout elementary school to graduating, all of the schools I was in, there were so many music programs and so many extracurriculars that you could be doing. The main music teacher here in Weyburn, Mrs. Weimer, she's always such a support, and music class was my favorite thing all the way through elementary school, and then like junior high, and we have jazz band and choir as well, and all these kinds of things, and Mrs. Cameron was the teacher for that, and there was so much support to create and do music. In junior high, started my first band. My grade 9 teacher like basically convinced us that we should play at the last dance of grade 9. And we played our first show as a band, and then we just started playing more shows, going and learning and growing together. And that was like where I found my love for performing. That band was called 7th Avenue. The 7th Avenue. I'll explain that. We picked the name 7th Avenue because we rehearsed on 7th Avenue up on the hill. We spent like 5 hours trying to figure out this name and getting down to 2 names, and okay, here we go, we got it, 7th Avenue. Next day we tell somebody that our band is called 7th Avenue, and they're like, there's already a band called 7th Avenue. And we're like, well, we're not going through that name decider again, we are just putting a "the" in front of 7th Avenue, and now we are different. It didn't make it stand out, I'll tell you that. Like every show poster, it was like 7th Ave Band, or like we didn't have a contract that stated this is what it needs to say. So we were just hoping that people got it. But yeah, people just called us 7th Avenue. And I grew so much with those boys, playing shows, recording our first songs, and festivals, and writing, and trying to figure out how to work as a team, you know, and sometimes that not working out super well, and everything. We learned and we grew together, and it was just such an incredible experience. We must have played 100 and some shows just all throughout our high school like years, and that got me to wanting to play music after high school.
When I'm on the road and singing at my shows, you'll be in the front row.
All right, so this next song is the title track of my album. This song's called Wild. Kind of sums up some silly things I did when growing up here in Weyburn, and I don't know, I guess even into my 20s, I'm still kind of wild. And this song's all about that. Here we go. I remember running from the cops when they shut down the party by the tire shop. Getting dizzy off of homemade wine that my dad hadn't touched since back in '09. Brian had a bottle in his hand, he threw it in a bush before they took him in. We still talk about that night, cause we fed some dust to those flashing lights. We were dumb as hell, I admit it, I sure as hell don't regret it. I'm still as wild right now as the day I left that town. If you think I got it figured out, well, you're mistaken, I'm faking. Rebel hearts just won't slow down, only time to live is now. I still got tons of hell to get raising, so I'm staying wild, wild. I remember sneaking out to see all my buddies at the school on 2nd Street. Late nights climbing up the walls, living on the edge trying not to fall. I got a few battle scars from truth of days that went too far, but I'm still here messing up, cause I don't feel like growing up, no. I'm still as wild right now as the day I left that town. If you think I got it figured out, well, you're mistaken, I'm faking.
Rebel hearts just won't slow down. Only time to live is now. I still got tons of hell to get raising, so I'm staying wild, wild. Oh, I'm staying wild, wild. I'm still as wild right now as the day I left that town. If you think I got it figured out, whoa, rebel hearts just won't slow down. Only time to live is now. I still got tons of hell to get raising, so I'm staying wild, wild. Oh, I'm staying wild, wild. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm staying wild. I'm staying wild. Yeah. I'm staying wild. I'm staying wild.
It's actually really funny that we are in the Legion right now, because the Legion is where the Rotary Club hosts their meetings, and the Rotary Club was who sponsored me to go on a Rotary Youth Exchange to go live in Belgium for a year. I essentially chose to do that because I had a lot of friends that had done an exchange program before. My sister did. I didn't know what I wanted to do for school or anything after high school, so I was like, you know what? A little gap year, that sounds like fun. So went out to Belgium, and it still was playing music a lot. And I have a song about this. I met this busker on the street in Belgium. He was a guy from Russia, and he had moved from Russia to Belgium essentially to play music on the street. That's all he did, every day. We started jamming together and playing music together all around Brussels, and he's like, what are you gonna do when you move back to Canada? I was like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know what I wanted to do. And he's like, dude, if you love music, like, you've got it, just go for it. And that was so formative for me, because seeing him having moved from Russia to Belgium, and like, he didn't have a lot, but he was just so happy doing what he loved every day, that I was like, I could do that too. What brought me to country music though was I have a big group of friends from Weyburn here, and when the pandemic was happening, kind of when things started settling down, we started to have like campfires like at a distance and everything, and they're like, bring your guitar, that'd be fun. And I show up and they're requesting like Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen and all this stuff, and I was like, you guys all love country now? Like, what is this? Because growing up, I never did. My mom would put it on and I was like, nope, not a fan, not a fan. I just didn't think it was cool. And then once I realized that my friends thought it was cool, I was like, well, maybe I should give this a second chance. Started listening to Luke Combs and Chris Stapleton and all sorts of different acts, and I was like, okay, this is pretty sweet. So started learning all those tunes, and yeah, that's how I kind of landed in country, you know. My favorite part about this career is definitely the connection with people, especially on this tour. I'm seeing, like, I think it's every songwriter's dream to have people that you see in the crowd that isn't your friends and family that know the words to your songs. And like, we saw it in Regina, and we see it, like, we've seen it at all these shows, like, and those numbers are growing and growing, because the last time we played in Regina, maybe half those people knew my songs, and first time we played in Regina, nobody knew my songs. They just were coming to a show. That is my favorite part. And then like talking to people after the shows. Sometimes my band is like ready to get out of there, and I'm just like still talking to people, because it's just like, man, if these people like are gonna go through the effort of buying a ticket, blocking out their night to come spend their night at our show, first of all, I want to give them a show. I want to make sure they have a good time, but also I'm just so thankful that they did that. I want to build a connection with these people, and like, I'll never say no to a picture and everything. That's just the coolest thing, is like when people are very deliberately coming to a show, you know, just like that. connection is the biggest thing, for sure. So it's just great. All right, this is a song I wrote about a year ago. It's become now my most popular song. This song here is called Nickelback. Here we go. Gonna take you to the show. I want 2 tickets on the radio. We can sneak in a bottle of shine, singing every song we know. You said bottoms up, babe. Well, let's not wait on someday. We'll be animals tonight. Like today is our last day. Maybe we weren't old enough to fall in love. Burning it to the ground. In those days we had it figured out. Rock stars living to the sound of how you remind me of reminiscence since you've been gone. Been far away for far too long. Wish I was kissing you to our favorite song. Gotta be somebody, and I still carry the photograph from the night we saw Nickelback. You said love was like a lullaby. Never thought you'd kiss it goodbye. Said you'd leave this afternoon, even though I'd come for you. I'm here missing that summer love. Yeah, the memory of burning it to the ground. In those days we had it figured out. Rock stars living to the sound of how you remind me of reminiscence since you've been gone. Been far away for far too long. Wish I was kissing you to our favorite song. Gotta be somebody, and I still carry the photograph from the night we saw Nickelback. Oh, you take me back to the night we saw Nickelback. Let's burn it to the ground. Those days we had it figured out. Let's be rock stars living to the sound of oh, how you remind me of reminiscence since you've been gone. Been far away for far too long. Wish I was kissing you to our favorite song. Gotta be somebody, and I still carry the photograph. Oh, I still carry the photograph from the night we saw Nickelback. Oh, you take me back, the night we saw Nickelback. Oh, take me back, the night we saw Nickelback. I would say I've been touring pretty consistently for the last 3 years. The life on the road has very much evolved in those 3 years as to the extent of how intense it all is and everything. When I first started, it was just me in my Ford Flex with a guitar and a sound system and a box of t-shirts, and that was it. And I had so much fun doing that, except then moving, like, you kind of got to move up in stages, you know? If I were to be bringing out the band and everything, nobody would be making money. And that's like, I wish I could say we all do it for the love of it, except like we also all need to eat tomorrow too. So You kind of have to grow in stages, and the moment that I was able to bring on a band, that just took it to a whole nother level, because first of all, it's nice to have other people to lean on when it comes to the show, but also other people to lean on when you're in the middle of a 10-hour drive, you know? People only really see the hour or hour and a half that you're on stage. They don't see the 23 hours that lead up to it. The lack of sleep, the long drives, the whatever it is. You're doing all of that work to get to the show, and the show is what makes it worth it. I would say, like, for me right now, being on the road is just so much fun. And some people might think it's like a nonstop, like, talking and like you're always joking around and all this stuff. And like I was just saying to you before, it's like the last 3 hours of this drive today, we all just had our headphones in, and you just kind of you need to unwind. You need that space, because you got to conserve the energy to get up to put on a show every night. If you're giving 100% of your energy 100% of the time, that drain is gonna run out really quick. So touring is not for everybody. If you don't love it, you won't do it for very long. I love it so much, but I think you need to go on a bunch of tours and play a bunch of shows before you get some traction. And I feel like right now is where we're kind of hitting that traction mark. But we played a bunch of shows a couple of years ago that like I played to just the bartender. I drove for 10 hours and I played to the bartender because nobody showed up to the show. So it's like a lot of people would feel like, oh, I gotta give up after that. But then the next night I went and played and there was a couple hundred people there. I'm like, okay, cool, that keeps me going. So it's a lot of ups and downs. I would not be surprised if there's a night in the future where we played to 50 people last night. We're gonna play to 150 tonight. You know, it's like, it varies all the time. It's really, really rewarding, especially when we're going back to the same cities and there's more people this time. You know, it's just great. I got a message on Instagram, like a DM, and it said, "Hi, I'm an American Idol casting producer. I found your videos on TikTok. Would you be able to have a call with me?" or something like that. And I immediately think it's a scam. You know, I think this is not real. But whatever, I humored it, and I followed her back and was able to see she had pictures on set of the show. I'm like, okay, either you're really good at Photoshop or this is legit. So I hop on a phone call with her. She had seen my videos on TikTok. I've been following for a while. Just asked if I wanted to do a virtual audition, which turned into another virtual audition with the executive producer of the show. And then like they ended that audition with, okay, we're gonna fly you down to Vegas and you're gonna audition for the 3 judges. I was like, okay, cool. That was nuts because, I mean, my mom had passed away just like a couple months before that. And that was really, like still is, always. But it was also really amazing because I got to bring my dad with me and my dad came down with me to Vegas. But like there was so much anticipation. It's that thing that people say in TV and film, like hurry up and wait kind of thing. It was like, okay, we gotta go, and then like sit in a hallway in a chair like this for 2 hours waiting for my moment or whatever. And then finally it was my turn to go do my audition. Walk into the room and I sang an original song called Down That Road that I felt really confident in. And then Luke said it was like Ed Sheeran meets Chris Stapleton. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then Katie asked if I knew any Ed Sheeran songs. So now I'm put on the spot to sing an Ed Sheeran song that I hadn't sang in like 3 years. And I did it okay, I guess. And then I think Lionel said, I want to join the fan club. I'm giving you a yes. And then Katie asked, is your dad here? I was like, yeah. Dad comes on in and, well, they gave their condolences and everything to Dad. And then Katie said, well, Lionel gave your son a yes. I'm giving your son a yes. And then Luke is like, I'm giving you your 3rd yes. And then you're going to Hollywood. They all scream at the same time. So that was cool. It was really sweet. And then after that, it was like interviews. And then Hollywood was like 3 months later. And Hollywood week, I get there's like 160 of us. In that time, like they cut down from 160 or whatever it was down to like 90. I did a song there, and then it was like final judgment kind of thing to cut down to the top 24. And they brought me into the room and they were like, we really, really like your personality, everything. And just said like, it's a tough competition, you know, and not everyone's gonna make it through. And that was the end of the line for me. It hurt really bad when I found out that I wasn't getting any airtime. Obviously no exposure in the States from it, but then the exposure I got from Canada was really cool. Like that helped me get my first song on the radio. That took people from not knowing my name to now knowing my name, which, I don't know, what else can you ask for, right? So it was definitely a boost. Overall, looking back now, it's like I made some great friends. I got to be in Vegas and then Hollywood for like a total of like 3 weeks. Stayed in a really nice hotel, got to meet all these amazing singers and hang out with them all the time, and then like have the TV experience, you know? Looking back now, I am thankful for everything, and I will say that I'll never do another one though. I'm really happy with what we're doing right now. All right, so this one's a real special one. This is the last song on my album. I wrote this song the day after my mom passed away as a tribute to her and to her support. And yeah, it's a special one. This song's called Front Row.
You watched me sing all night on that karaoke machine. Same song about 50 times. You just sat there and smiled. You drove my band around when we were too young to go. Singing in the car, late nights at the bar. You were at every show. And I thank you for your love. From the start, you believed in me and all that I can be. You said to chase my dreams, but I can't do it on my own. When I'm on the road and singing at my shows, you'll be in the front row. I'll always love how you would dance and sing along. You'd get up all alone for cover of the Rolling Stone. And I won't forget the day that I spent beside your bed. You let your sweet voice shine, harmonizing with mine. Now you're singing in the sky. From the start, you believed in me and all that I can be. You said to chase my dreams, but I can't do it on my own. When I'm on the road and singing at my shows, well, you'll be in the front row. Oh, you'll be in the front row. You watched me sing all night on that karaoke machine. Same song about 50 times. You just sat there and smiled.
Cody, my drummer, has been with me the longest out of the three. Cody was essentially my introduction to the country music scene. Like, we would have so many conversations about like how this industry works. He brought me to my first Country Music Alberta Awards show and introduced me to all these folks, and which opened up more doors. And then we were talking and he's like, do you want a full band gig at, it was Cook County Saloon in Edmonton? And I was like, yeah, dude, of course, please. So he put my band together and we played the show and knocked it out of the park, and we've just kind of been going ever since. I would not be anywhere without Cody. Like, truly. The guy is so committed to the project. Like, I guess on a surface level, people would be like, okay, they're freelance musicians. You hire them, they play shows with you. It's like, no. Yes, but it's way more than that because we're a band. Amazing dude. Weird guy. Amazing dude. I love him so much. Everything. Ray is my bass player. He's also my music director and my tour manager now. So I think he offered those roles because I was so unorganized. And he has now made my life extremely easy in every aspect of the touring. And then he's just an amazing guy. Has really become one of my best friends. Like, just all the boys are just best friends. It's amazing. And it was so funny because I was kind of looking for a new bass player a couple of years ago, and one of my friends, Devin Cooper, he was like, you should call Ray Bamman. He lives in Lethbridge. I was like, okay. We went for coffee. 2 weeks later, he was on a gig with us. And we just never stopped. It just keeps going. And then Mike, funny enough, played my first ever full band gig with me on guitar. Cody brought him in to play. Mike is like one of the busiest guys, guitar players, because he's just so good and just a great guy to be around and everything. So when it came to like, okay, we need a full-time guitar player, I had asked him to be full-time and we agreed on it, but it took about a year for us to finally get to being full-timing together. And since he's been a part of the project, like, it's just gotten so good and so much fun. We have such a blast. And like, we'll go talk to each other after the shows. Every night on this tour, we're like, boys, like, it's getting so good. Like, and it's just a testament to how hard these guys work and how much they care about the project. And I don't think we could do it as well as we do if we weren't such good friends too. Really means the world to have a band that cares, a band that is invested in it, and overall we're just great friends. That's what it is. They might say something different, I don't know. I would say I like the performing side. I like them both. I really do. I could essentially go a year without recording if I had to, but I could not go a year without performing. Like, now that we're in such a groove, it's like, I need to do this. I swear, if we're off the road for like 2 weeks, I took 6 weeks off over Christmas and I had withdrawals. Like, literally sitting there like, almost tour time, you know? Like, let's go have some fun. When I started, I think the goal was always just to be able to do it full time. I've been doing that for 3 years. And I'm like, doing not bad, you know? It's like, I can't retire, but we're doing okay. A viral moment would be really cool, but I would be completely fine if we just keep on growing at the same pace that we're at. It's a very grassroots way of doing a career because, like, it's definitely the tougher way. Like, we're doing 100 shows a year and sometimes playing to lots of people, sometimes not, but I think we're kind of paying our dues in a way, because like all of my favorite acts toured like crazy. So I just want to keep on playing shows and just keep watching them grow. Like, I was talking, like, if I could set a goal for like 3 years from now, I want to go from having 200 people at a show to 500 people. I don't want to say we're selling out Brant Center or SaskTel. I'm not going to say that, because as cool as that would be, it's like, that's a 10-year goal at this pace, being realistic. And I just want to keep on putting out music that I really like. I'm not really drawn towards putting out a song because I think people will like it, as opposed to, I like it a lot, it sounds great, let's put it out, and the people that like it are gonna like it. It's like walking into a writer's room and they're like, oh, let's write a radio song. I'm like, no, let's just write a song. And if it fits the glove of radio, great. But if we just write a song with no expectations, let's just do that.
I put on this song called Nickelback, and if you know it, Sing it with us. I love this song. Thank you guys for listening.
The biggest goal is just to continue connecting with people. Like, we just played a show last night, and I got a message a week before the show, and he said, "Hey Brayden, I love your music, and I'm coming to the show in Winnipeg. I lost my best friend of 15 years in 2023, and it was right around the same time that I found country music and I found your music. And I just want you to know that your music helped me through that time." And he said, "You probably won't see this, but I wanted to send you some love. I'll see you at the show in Winnipeg." And I immediately saw it. I'm always checking. How could I ask for more? Like, for him to think, I want to reach out to Brayden and let him know that he helped me through this tough time. We all have, like, any music fan has that artist that, like, if you're having a bad day, you put on their music. I have those artists, you know, and for me to be that to somebody else, I've made it, you know? I'm good. Sure, stadiums, cool. Maybe someday. Tour bus, cool. Maybe someday. If I can keep making those connections with people, to connect with folks like that, it's amazing. I hope that they're not always brought together by like a negative thing or like a loss or anything like that. I talk about loss in my music, and I talk about it in my show because it's so important to talk about those tough things. It's therapy for me to talk about it. I wrote a song called Front Row, and we played it live. We were road testing it, and we played it at a festival in Thunder Bay. I didn't know who was going to show up. We were playing in the middle of the afternoon at this festival. There was still like 1,000 people there, and a good chunk of them knew my music. I was like, this is really cool. I played Front Row, and it wasn't out yet. And I get off stage, and the promoter's like, "Okay, we're gonna run to the merch table. There might be some people there for like meet and greet, some photos and stuff." We had a line of 150 people at the merch table. There was only 1,000 at the show, so like they all left, and they all had their t-shirts in hand, and they were just waiting and waiting. And I just start signing and talking to all these people and everything. And the promoter's like, "You only got 5 minutes left." I was like, "What, are you gonna kick these people out?" And he's like, "No, the next show starts in 5 minutes." I stepped out to the line and I said, "I'm gonna get to all you guys. So if you stick around, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." And they all stayed. And nearing the end of the line, there's this guy that comes up, and he's like, "Dude, that Front Row song," he's like, "I lost my grandpa 2 years ago, and that really, really touched me." He said, "I'm getting married in a couple weeks. Is that song done? Could I use it as my mother and son dance at my wedding?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, of course you can." So like, just things like that, for someone to connect to me as a person or to my music or anything like that, that's just incredible. And we just got back from Thunder Bay. I just saw all those folks again. They all come out in their Brayden King t-shirts, and then so stoked to be there and everything. I'm like, I want to keep doing that. So to me, I've made it. If I can keep having moments like that and people still care, I don't care if it's 5 people or 500. If they care, that's what I'm here for. So if you haven't already, go check out my music, Brayden King, on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, probably 100 other places I've never heard of. And then if you want to find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Brayden King Music, that's the tag, that's it. And then if you're looking for tour dates, go to BraydenKingMusic.com. We're always updating them, so go check them out.